Okay, so first off, my bad. It's Friday. This is a CTF video. It's both a California talk and a car talk Friday because I just missed yesterday. I was really busy in the morning, so I just did not have a chance to. When I got home, I needed to charge my phone, so I wasn't able to record then. And then when my phone was available, I was like, I'm in the middle of some shit, and I kind of don't want to stop. Like I got a good flow. I'm cooking. So I guess I'll just do it tomorrow before work. So here I am tomorrow and it's before work. So I'll try to, hopefully this gets uploaded no problem. I've had a lot of trouble with just Wi-Fi and internet connection while I'm out here. Like it works, but like there was, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, like I'd recorded the car talk video or like, the CTT, and I set it to upload and it took like 12 hours. It was fucking insane. I think that was not using the Wi-Fi. And you might say it's like, well, that's because you weren't using Wi-Fi. But honestly, like when I'm back in Oklahoma, it's weird because it's sometimes like the Wi-Fi makes it go super fast. Sometimes in Oklahoma, not using the Wi-Fi makes it go faster. And here it's like, it's gonna be slow either way. Probably because there's so many ding-dang people. But anyways, going over the week. It's been a long week. And there have been things that have been really good and things that have been like really disappointing. And also a week marked by clarity. So just kind of going over some of the notable things. Also, I'll go and say this. I'm still a few videos behind. I still only do the 1,000-year door video. And I still have 2 2024 tier lists left to do. It's March and I still have 2 left, which is annoying and frustrating. But I haven't forgotten. We'll get to them when we get to them, hopefully sometime soon. And I should go ahead and say, apparently my date to return is March 15th. So that is next Saturday. So I'm almost back home. Yay! I'm excited to see my family. I'm excited to see my friends. I'm very excited to see my cat. I have missed him so much because I've been able to at least like talk to my parents. I've been able to talk to some of my friends. Like I haven't been able to see my cat. Like my dad sent me pictures, which kind of almost makes me miss him more. And I can't wait to drive my car. I can't wait to like go eat a steak. Like yeah, there's steakhouses here. Of course they are, but not steak is super fucking expensive. I don't want to know how expensive steak is out here, you know? Anyways, point. Last weekend on Saturday, I went to go visit Pepperdine, which was where I went to law school. I got to see my alma mater. And again, it was kind of that encapsulation of this is really nice and really disappointing. So it was nice to see the campus. Campus is still beautiful. I went hiking on like the old mountain trail that we used to hike on, and wow, my body hurt doing that, but it was fun. It was like I still more or less remember like the path. It was a little, there were points where I was like, I think I'm getting close to the end. This is shorter than I remember. And by the time I got to the end, I was like, no, this is just as long as I remember. There were just a few false like promises along the way. But it was a really good hike. I brought my Switch with me. I was like, maybe I'll play Celeste when I climb the mountain. And then I remembered I'm on like chapter 4. I don't know how much I really like chapter 4. I don't hate it by any means. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to play that. So I did it, but I had it with me, but I just didn't play it. But one of the things that was kind of disappointing was like, I got to walk around the campus. The campus is huge. Like, I really want to see the law school because I know they've done some renovations. I want to see like, what is it like? I want to walk around the old halls again, which I think are kind of new halls now, and see what that's like. Like, are any of my professors still there? Maybe some of the new students and like all that kind of fun shit. Do some commingling. It was spring break. It was March 1st. February just ended. Winter wrap-up day is not till like March 19th. What do you mean it's spring break? So that kind of sucked. Again, that wasn't awful. That was kind of one of the big reasons I wanted to go. And okay. I was like, okay, well, I still want to go to El Matador Beach because that was a beach I used to go to a lot. I loved the sunsets there. I was really looking forward to my Matador sunset. And I went to Lily's and got a burrito, and that was not disappointing. I was like, this is exactly what I needed and what I wanted. You were perfect. I got to the beach and I was just there way too early. So I sat on the beach for like 3 hours reading gender bent Twilight. That was not disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm around page like 200 or so. So not even halfway through the book, because Twilight's 500 pages. I don't know why, but it's like 500 pages. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm having a good time with it. And it's not all just like I'm laughing at it. I'm like, no, like I'm having fun with what it's doing. There's a lot of red flags, but it's fun. But I read Twilight on the beach for about 3 hours. I'm like, okay, it's time for sunset. Like, I checked when sunset was. It's now in like a few minutes. I can see the sun starting to go down. So here we go. Like, I'm going to get those beautiful colors. I'm going to get like those pinks and purples and the oranges and see it on the sparkling water and on the rocks. And I just got none of that. I don't even know what the fuck happened. Because even if it was kind of cloudy, but like, okay, but even with that, like you get crazy sunsets with like nice clouds, and it was just like nothing. And I remember just kind of sitting there going, like, I had a nice time reading Twilight on the beach, but I mean, I still could have done that like back at the apartment. I just like, what the hell? Oh, this kind of sucks. Also, was it that? No, it was the day after. The next day, which was Sunday, I got to see some of my friends for lunch. No disappointments there. That was great. I finally got to see Mary Kate. I had to hang out with the Chungs again. Actually, there was a slight disappointment because Mary Kate's husband was unavailable. And that dude is super cool. Quentin. He's really cool, and I've only met him like once or twice. So I was looking forward to seeing him again. So slight disappointment, but like they're going through a lot. So I'm not... It's not like the sunset thing where I'm like, this sucks. Like, no, like that disappointed, but you got to take care of your shit. But hung out with them, had a good time. When I got back home, there was an earthquake. And like, I was on the phone with Clay, and then it just reality started shaking. I was like, are we in an earthquake? I think we are. I don't know. This is kind of fun. It was like a 3.9 or something. Like, it wasn't crazy, which is why I was like, oh, I'm kind of having fun with this. It was just like a neat little roller coaster, essentially. Well, yeah, lunch with the squad. I did end up watching Survivor, so I've seen the first episode. I clearly haven't made a video on it. I didn't take any notes, so like I don't have anything to refer to. Just, yeah, I watched the premiere. I had a good time. The person I kind of felt like was gonna go home even before the immunity challenge ended up going home. I will say, based solely on the premiere, I think I'm gonna slot in Ava as my winner pick. Might be a little early, but that's my pick. And it's very specifically... I mean, granted, like, you know, we get longer episodes. It's also the premiere. It's going to be super long. But we're going to have longer episodes, which gives us more time to get to know people and to get to know some of the relationships going on. Like, we can have intimate moments that don't really mean anything for a winner edit. This was not a 90-minute season, but I remember Ricard in 41 talking about... I think he was talking about like how he was deaf, or like he was deaf in one ear. It was something like that. But he was getting this like really tender human emotional moment, which there was a lot of that in 41. But I remember just kind of thinking, like, is this just kind of like a sweet thing? Or is this like, hey, we really want you to like and care about this guy? And it turned out to be, I guess, a little bit of both, because he went very far and was the threat of the season at the very end, but he didn't end up winning. But it was... that scene with Joe, and it's not just Ava, like, if it was just like Ava telling Joe, yo, this is what I'm like this is my autism, and this is how it's going to affect me, and if you're going to be my number one, I want you to know that. I want you to know the signs of when I'm being overstimulated, and this is what I need you to do. And if it was just that, and then Joe going like, yeah, okay, like, I got this, this might be some work, but I do want to work with her, like, yeah, I really appreciate her telling me, okay, that'd be one thing. It's like, okay, this is going to be a duo to follow. But it's the part in his confessional where he's saying, like, when I heard that, like, when she was that honest with me, I just thought to myself, I've got you. I've got her. to the point where I genuinely feel like I might sacrifice my game to help her. And me as just a viewer just goes, that's the sweetest fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm in love with this duo and I hope one of them wins. But me as someone who I'm just like, I get it, 90-minute episodes and, it's premiere, so it's going to be longer anyways. You got to fill up time. And if this is going to be an important relationship anyways, you kind of want to have those moments. You want to establish a lot of your storylines early. But him saying, I would throw away especially someone like Joe, who at this point is like everyone in his tribe loves him. He's this big, strong dude, but he's also really nice, like down to earth. He's connected to everybody. And he's saying, my game is now about you in episode 1. This is really something to keep an eye on. And I'm like, I don't know. She's my pick right now. We'll see what happens. Maybe I just cursed her and she's about to go home next episode, and I'm sorry if I did. But that's where I'm at with that. I've talked a few times over the past few months about this friend that I have. This friend that I met, and we met her online, and I really like her. I feel like I really connected with her. And on Monday, I finally learned where she's at. And it's not the same place. She and we made the same mistake, but made it in opposite ways, because both of us misjudged the strength of the other person's feelings and acted accordingly. I thought her feelings were stronger than they actually were, which led to me kind of letting my guard down, getting more attached, etc., etc. She did not think my feelings for her were as strong as they were, which led to her, I genuinely, like, not leading me on in any kind of way, but not kind of saying, like, hey, let me let you know now before this gets too far. I don't see you that way. I'm not looking for anything. Genuinely, like, dead ass, no bullshit. I bear her no ill will. I don't think this is anyone's fault. It's just human nature. Sometimes things get lost in translation on both sides. People make miscommunication problems. Does it suck? For me, absolutely. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't hurt. Clarity hurts. But clarity is also important. Because clarity is how you move forward and how you grow. It's how you learn. It's how you adapt and, like, slay the princess. It's how you change. As for what moving forward and such looks like, I have said before, like, to other people and on the channel as well, I really like her. And that's not just in a romantic sense, although that's still true. No, I just think she's really cool. I like talking to this person. I like interacting with this person. You can like someone but not love them. I'm in a camp right now where I'm both, but I've been in love before and had my heart broken before, but have still maintained a strong, genuine friendship with the person who broke my heart. And I'm okay with that. Like, that specific relationship is that person, aside from the family that I have talked about that I've known since I was a kid, that friendship is my longest lasting friendship. And it genuinely is just friendship. And I'm happy with that, and she's happy with that. So I know from past experience that is something I can do and am capable of. And it's what I would like. But if I am at a point, and I'm not sure that I am yet, I don't think I am yet, but if as this goes on, if I kind of realize I can't just be your friend, like I'm too attached, I care about you too much, then I think I have to walk away. I'm not just gonna ghost her, like I'm not a piece of shit, like that's fucking awful. I would say, it's like, look, I'm sorry, like I really want to still be your friend. I still want to be able to talk to you because I think you're neat as hell. I wish all the best for you. But if it hurts too much, I can't do that to myself. Because that's what's genuinely so interesting to me about this. So as I just mentioned, I've had my heart broken before. One of my best friends did it. It happens. And the way I felt then was I felt so, like, empty and hollow. Like, I loved with everything I had, and when that was gone, I had nothing left. And it took, like, a few years to really get that back. But with this, like I said, it hurt. I'm not happy with the outcome. But A, I'm thankful that I have clarity as to, the situation. B, I can accept it because I was never, like, entitled to anything. I'm entitled to how I feel, and she is entitled to how she feels. That's just human nature. Like, that's fine. But C, when it happened, my immediate reaction wasn't, well, like, there it goes, or like, oh, fuck, or like crying or anything. It was, okay. And I was kind of surprised by that. There really was this sense of peace. Again, I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not sad or disappointed, because I am. It does hurt. But I don't feel empty like I have previously. And it really comes down to, I love myself this time around. So even though I feel like, yeah, I tried to love with everything I had, I don't have nothing left now. I still have me. And I do like me. And I do love me. And it is wild just how much of a difference that makes. And I know there are so many people in my life who love me and who support me and want to see me win. And with that, like, other heartbreak and other, like, disappointments and heartbreaks that have happened as well, I've had a lot of difficulty receiving that from other people, like from my support system. And here, even though I'm half a fucking country away, well, excuse me, I still feel that. And I am able to receive that. And that's why I am okay. And I know I'm going to be okay. And I think that's kind of neat. I think an L is only a loss if you don't take the lesson from it. And I think the lessons, plural, that I have learned from this situation are, number one, self-love is the most important love there is. Because as long as you genuinely love yourself, and it's not just inflated ego, and it's not just I find value in this person finding value in me, if you have genuine love and genuine value for yourself, it doesn't mean you won't get hurt, but you won't break either. And not breaking is really important. Number 2, define the relationship. Which is kind of a thing, because there were points where I thought I had, and just miscommunication. It happens. And I mean, it's like, you can read a book or watch a movie, or like, again, just have a conversation with someone and think, oh, this is what they mean, this is what they're feeling. And it's not what was intended at all. It just happens. But I think now going forward, it's also not just like define the relationship and like communication. It's, if I get to a point where this was an actual phrase I said to her after the fact, where she's like, yeah, I genuinely didn't know how like strong your feelings were. I was like, oh yeah, dude, I was catching feelings like wild Pokemon in Arceus. I thought that was funny. I had a good laugh writing that. But if I get to a point in the future with someone where I'm catching feelings like wild Pokemon in Arceus, I think it's important to let that be known early. And not in like a... So just remember that scene from SpongeBob with Patrick where I think it's the chocolate episode, because I think they're being door-to-door sales when someone opens the door. I love you. That shit is so fucking funny. But, just kind of let them know. This is where I'm at, like, okay, I'm starting to really like you. Can we figure that out real quick? Like, do you see that as being a thing? And if the answer is yes, okay, let's figure it out. If the answer is no, cool. Thank you for letting me know. So now I know, don't get as attached. We can still be friends. We can still be cool as hell. But let me not go down. I don't remember what the card is called, but like that Yu-Gi-Oh card was like, here's the nice path and here's the other path. It's like, okay, cool. Now that I know this, I know not to go down this path. I don't want to say like one is like a shitty one, one's a nice one, because friendship is nice. Friendship is fucking magic. So is love. So I don't know. I guess it's nice path and nice path. We're like, all right, this is not the one, but this one's good too. So lesson number 1, love thyself. Number 2, define thine relationship. And number 3, I think I personally just learned what I'm looking for going forward. I guess in a sense, like, what are my, like, green, like, my emerald flags? I don't think I'll share those. I think I'll kind of keep that to myself. But I feel like I kind of know these are the things I am looking for in a partner. And if I can get these, and it's, I think they're kind of non-negotiable. But I'll say this, it's not like physical traits or personality traits. It's just ways, I'll say it's vibes. It's really important vibes that I think need to be there. And in this particular relationship, most of them were there. There was one that wasn't. And in my head, I was always able to kind of excuse why it wasn't, while also knowing this is not a green flag here. I think I'll leave that at that. Is there anything else I wanted to say about that in particular? Okay, sorry, like, I was whistling, and I was whistling a song I was listening to earlier, but it reminds me of a flute, even though the flute's not on the song, it's just how whistling sounds. Primal Dialga! It's like, I'm sorry, I fucking love Dialga's Fight to the Finish, and I heard a version of it the other day that had, like, just come out. And it was like Dialga's Fight to the Finish with lyrics and vocals. and it was really fucking good. And then after, they did like vocals for the cutscene at the end of Mystery Dungeon 2, and I won't spoil it if you don't know what happens at the end of Mystery Dungeon 2, but ow! Like, that shit fucking hurt. Oh man. If I remember, because there's a non-zero chance that I will just completely forget, but if I remember to, I will try to put the link to it in the description of the video. That's everything I have written down, but there is a couple of other things I want to talk about, and it's one thing in particular. It's writing, because I've been doing that, and it's great, and I love it. So, with Severance, I think I mentioned this before, I'm working on 2 scenes at the same time, because it's one scene from 2 different perspectives. Here's the perspective of it here's the scene from the main character's perspective, which you get about a third of the way or so through the story. And then the penultimate chapter it's just the antagonist. Here is her backstory. And a lot of this is stuff that you know, because she and the main character are brother and sister. So a lot of her backstory is like, you know the events, but now you're really seeing it and seeing it through her eyes. And what I love about it is, because I've talked to Clay about it, because both of us agreed, like, she's our favorite character in the story, and one of our collective favorite characters that either of us have made. And she's not the most sympathetic character. Like, no, she does some pretty awful things. And I could easily see someone looking at her and going, no, she's fucking terrible. What do you mean there is this long-ass chapter at the end of the story to try to make me sympathize with her? What made you ever think I could? Fair. But it's less to be, hey, I want you to feel really sorry for her, and I want you to forgive her. And it's more of, I want y'all to understand why she does the things she does, because I think they're fucking terrible. But with the life she's had and how warped her perspective is because of the things that she's gone through, it makes sense for her to be this kind of person. Toteno, life is a staircase. When you look at the steps she's climbed, yeah, it kind of makes sense that these are the steps she would take. It doesn't make her a good person. I am not going to argue that she is a good person. But I think her staircase makes sense. It's a weird staircase. Instead of going up, it's so there's that. And then in terms of art, we have gotten, like, sprites for one of the main characters is done. Sprites for another member of the main party he's got one left, and then he's done. You know, of course, if there's points where I'm like, I kind of do need some others. We'll get to that when we get to that. But there's 2 characters left that need sprites. One is one of the main characters, and the other is the main character. So both of them have quite a bit left. What Clay and I have decided to do is, when this current character is done, we're going to hit up the artist and say, like, okay, we're going to take a break from sprites, because he wants a commission of one of his characters, and then I want a commission of one of my characters, separate from this. Then we will resume, and then finish sprites for you, sprites are done. Then it's either CGs or backgrounds next. I don't know which ones we're going to do. Excuse me. I don't know if we're going to do CGs or backgrounds next. Both of them, like, I have an extensive list, and I've, like, been just trying to edit as I make edits as well. So that's going. Anyways, but as I was saying about the scene, it happens about a third of the way through the book, and then at the very end, and I'm at the end, I'm on, like, the last page of edits here. Then I don't know. Because part of me is like, I need to fucking finish this. I need to finish this draft of Severance. And after the triplets, which are like the 3 really long chapters, one of which is done, the second of which I'm in like the middle of, because this scene is like a third of this chapter. Here's some backstory shit that I think fits pretty nicely here. Then here's the rest of it, which is, I think at that point it's about like 32 pages or so, which is like, it's a good length, but it's not like chonky. It's this other scene that makes it more of a chonker. And then the next chapter is also a chonker, but I know there was a bit that I cut like a while ago. It's like, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't add much. It was supposed to set this little bit up, but it's genuinely, I don't think, necessary to do so. And it's just kind of there. A couple things are going to be added to it. I'm considering putting this flashback in this chapter because I think it can work at either like I know my chapter numbers are a little fucked up right now, so I'm just going to go with what I'm used to. It either goes to the start of chapter 4 or the middle of chapter 5, and both I think have genuine merit. But I want to get this scene done, probably chapter 4 and then chapter 5, because the rest should be relatively smooth sailing, because I've done edits on them before. But here's the thing, y'all. Can I be real a second? For just a millisecond. Let down my guard and tell the people how I feel a second. Implying that all the shit I was saying earlier was not me being real or letting down my guard. There's... I'm trying to say it like almost like a romantic situation. Like, there's someone else. There's another story. I really, really want to work on this other one. And I don't want to say the title. And not to keep it in suspense, because I've talked about Oro before. But I don't know if I want to call it Oro anymore. Oro was always... It was a working title. It was almost kind of a title by default. Because from its inception, I was like, I don't know what I want to call it. Had a bunch of working titles. Like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Like, I remember Clay and I were talking, we went through a list. And Oro was kind of the last thing standing. I was like, I like it. I don't know if I love it, but I'll keep it. And for 10 years now-ish, that's just been the title. And I love it, mostly out of familiarity. I don't think it's a bad title. I like it. I think it does have a nice ring to it. But I've always kind of thought I could maybe find something a little more fitting. And what I'm kind of leaning towards is Isla. Instead of Project Oro, Project Isla. There's something kind of magical about it to me. Like, it has this very... It sounds like it could be the name of a fantasy world, which very much fits. But it has that... I guess that's JJNW'S. It has like this kind of like... I don't know. Like, I have the word... Like, it's like, ethereal's not quite right, but it's almost kind of there. Enchanting. I think that's what I want to say. There's something just kind of enchanting about the title, like the word to me. What it is, I believe it's Arabic for moonlight, which, given some of the themes of the story and like a lot of major scenes happening like under the moon, like, it's kind of fitting. And that might be like, yeah, like a lot of scenes happen at night, whatever, like, fair. But like, there's one bit in particular, it's like when one of the main characters is first introduced, and then the way that character's story ends is like the exact same shot of them sitting under a full moon. And to me, I don't know if I would make that the cover, but for me as the writer, it's one of the most like striking and iconic images of this story to me. Also, each individual book, there's 4 books, are named after Clair de Lune, which is a song that is mentioned and like kind of discussed several times in the story. I have commissioned a main theme for this story, and Clair de Lune is a major motif in it. Every individual book is, at least tentatively, I don't know, maybe they'll change, but it takes its title from a line from the poem that inspired Sweet Bergamask, or the Victor Hugo poem of the same name. Like, no connection, but I still really like. Or is just kind of still related. And so, like, in my head, I've kind of, like, I know it's Oro, but I kind of like Project Moonlight. But it doesn't, I don't know, like, it doesn't quite fit. It's not, like, quite enchanting enough. Like, it doesn't sound like, oh yeah, this is like a fantasy story. It's like, okay. But Isla does that. And so, like, I asked a bunch of friends, and hey, if anyone wants to comment here, feel free to let me know which sounds better. Some of y'all have already asked. Like, I've asked a good chunk of my friends, and I've had a few be like, no, Oro sounds really good. I've had a lot say, no, it's Isla. And a good amount have also been like, I kind of like both. It's like, I like both, but I think Oro a little bit more. Like, I like both, but I think Isla a little bit more. To the point where I think when I went to sleep, it was dead even amongst people I've asked. And I've heard a few more people since all be Team Isla. And I'll be honest, I think personally I am Team Isla at this point. I don't know if I'm 100% ready to make the change. Like, it's the title. That's a big change. And it's a title that I've known and has been, like, so familiar with and so comfortable with for, like I said, like, almost 10 years now. It feels weird to change that. But change is important. Clarity doesn't have to hurt. Or I guess it's clarity doesn't always hurt, but clarity's always important. I got clarity in that relationship. And I think I have clarity with Isla. And that excites me. I really want to go back into, because I've been wanting to for a long time anyways. And now I'm like, I still want to cook on Severance. But it might be time. I do have a lot of things I need to work out. Just keep me in the context of the story, because before I go into it and say, like, I'm going to start doing my edits, I've just kind of made a list of topics I want to discuss. I'm just like, okay, are there any, like, big picture things that I really want to change and work on? Is there anything, like, in this area or this area? It's kind of things to keep in mind going forward. Because I did that with Severance. I was like, what are the big picture things that need to change? And I made those big picture edits, and I liked them a lot. And then, like, with Orichalcums, like, what are some of the big picture edits in this book? It needs a fucking third act, and I like the third act a lot. I need to have that conversation about Isla. And I also need to see just how comfortable I am with Isla instead of Oro. But that's where we're at. That's been this week. So I haven't really done a going forward, looking ahead to March. It is just, I go back in about a week, and I'm very excited to just be home and be with things that are familiar and, like, my support system and all that. I know it was like the night before I left, I was talking with Clay and Jose, and we were discussing having a mini Pokemon marathon, like, just watching the first 3 movies, because I, like, had them on my shelf, like, on VHS. And we're like, dude, we should do that. Like, yeah, we fucking should. So I think we're gonna. Working on Severance, working on Isla. I do really like how that sounds. I really am leaning more toward Isla. Finishing the Ding Dang tier list videos, Paper Mario videos, finishing Twilight. When I just say, yeah, I don't know what, probably on the plane. I don't know if I'll finish it on the plane, but I think that's going to be my goal, is read this Ding Dang thing. I really want to play Kaino Kiseki. And I'm like, I can't fucking wait to play it, but here's the problem. I know that when it's time for me to play a Trails game, I'm basically going to do nothing else. And when I worked on Isla previously, that story didn't let me do anything else. It's kind of that same energy of like, this is what I'm doing and I can't like do anything else. So we'll see how that goes. I can't lie. February sucked. I can't lie. Earlier this week kind of sucked. But I feel genuinely excited right now. Like, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the month. Clarity doesn't have to hurt. But it is always important. 0.